Okay, it is part 2 of session 8 of StarFinder, the Fragments of Eternity. It is the 19th of November 2018. I am Ryan, the GM. Our audio may be jank, but our rhymes don't stank. Carry on, my players.
Yes.
Our rats are low, but our standards are high.
Hash cut to
Hi.
Zigg.
Hi, I'm Olka. I play Emmelyn, who is a Lashunta pilot, and she's on a quest for hot chocolate.
Hi, Nico. I'm playing. So it's just a great quest, quite frankly. I'm Nico. Playing. I forgot my name. Zora, the vest captain. That was a long intro.
It still is.
I'm Alex. I provide the voice and everything else of Nix 5.
Hello, I am Colin. I play Lyko Quint, resident spooky.
Evil.
Yes, no, he isn't. He's morally
Resident
ambiguous.
Spoopy.
There we
Spoopy.
go. Spippy and like Snoopy, but not at all.
Yes, and I am Calum. I'll be playing Zigg, the most glorious space rat in all of this party.
For now.
For now, at least.
Oh, yeah, good. That was... Weirdly, Collins was the most normal this time.
Yes.
So, let's focus in on Nix and Zigg. Right, so Zigg, you wander off from the group. We're obviously doing
Yes.
that time jank thing where we're now parallel to whenever they abandoned each other moments ago. And yeah, so we've got Zigg heading off to where the incident happens to be.
Yes.
So yeah, you're there. You recognise the place.
Oh, I'm glad.
Roll
I
a
should say,
perception for me, and also then
Oh,
next
no!
5, roll me a stealth. And write perception and stealth. Or write heads and tails, I don't care really what you write.
That one's perception. Boom. Ah,
You don't spot Nix following you.
that's
Very
fine. I
stealthy.
mean, yeah, just sneaky robot.
Bad robot? No, what? That's a... other
Android
corporate
skin
slogans.
disguise.
No. Okay, so Zigg, yep, you
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, I should say, like, during the whole, like, basically from the start of this session to, from when we were in the sort of officey, the fire pit room, all Zigg's been doing is just, like, thinking over the event that happened in the
Okay.
limo, like, because he doesn't quite understand it.
Okay, so like that, I mean,
No.
feel free to flash us back to like the offices. Like maybe maybe this is what's playing through your head as you're walking. It's maybe why you don't really notice like Nix following you either. You're kind of just like maybe like wringing your hands in front of you, you know, as you're thinking as you're walking forward, retracing your steps, even though you never actually walked these steps before.
Occasionally he's got a bit of a nose twitch as he's walking.
So like, what do we see flashing through your head then?
Basically just the you know, the swords of light just like appearing in the thingy, and then the image of S-Kate just disappearing,
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
and just that disappearance like over and over and over.
Like
and
if
over.
you missed part 1, those people that tuned in for part 2 get to see the same footage type thing in a
Yes.
TV show, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
So, kind of heading over towards where the incident happened, and he just sort of like sits himself down, and he tries to sort of like feel the air for any sort of like space magic nonsense that seems to be happening, any sort of like spagic residue within the air.
I think it's colloquially known as mysticism.
It is colloquially known. It is colloquially known as mysticism, or you know, factually known as mysticism.
Uh-huh.
So
Magic.
I wanted.
Sounds like a vegetable.
Don't forget to eat your spag.
It's a Zigg's mother, like in the orphanage. I mean, kind of like motherly, matronly person, of course.
Yes.
So
yeah, I assume I'm going to have to make a mysticism roll for that.
I mean, to feel the air. Roll. Yeah, right. Feeling the air magically.
Magically.
I can hear
Magically.
it call. What?
Here tonight. Oh Lord.
Come on, I can't really blow because there's no dice.
Well.
Oh wait,
Hey, must be.
that'll do.
Yeah, that's
not a
alright.
bad roll.
That's alright, yeah. So, you sit down, just,
Yeah, it's more sort of like kind of like a half sort of kneel, with his head down and sort of like the like right hand
like, down Splinter style
properly.
with your legs crossed, or down on one knee, heroically.
down on one knee, with like palm like on the floor.
It's like a superhero landing pose, you mean?
Yeah, without the fist, it's just like palm out.
Mm-hmm.
So more like sort of feeling like eyes closed, head down.
And then like maybe the camera zooms away back dramatically, and it stops just over the shoulder behind Nick's 5, as you like round the corner, and you've maybe realised where he was going now. So what are you up to?
Probably continue straight towards him. With him still not noticing me.
Yeah, I mean, like at this point you could probably just walk up right behind him, but he still hasn't noticed yet.
Yeah, I think while he's doing his focusing on the magic stuff, I will almost step in front of him, so that when he actually focuses,
Yeah, like when he opens his
comes
eyes,
back
like
out.
he'll just be looking up at you. Yeah,
exactly,
cool. Yeah,
and then just stand there waiting.
yeah. As for you, Zigg, the vibe you get is that there is a lot of latent jank. There we go. There's a good term. Latent magical energy. Like it almost feels like you get that kind of slight pressure in the atmosphere just before it's going to have like a massive downpour or a thunderstorm or something.
Yeah.
Like it's got that vibe to it, only it's like the aftermath of something like that. Almost like a humidity. Although I've described magical humidity before, as Colin might recall.
Yes, I do.
And it's my way of describing residual magic. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And I think it probably leaves you a bit uneasy, because it's not something that's casual. Like, it's quite...
Yeah.
I
feel like most of the magic stuff that Zigg's sort of experience has mostly been in the confines of...
Yeah, like the kind of
the temple and...
the disciplinatorium.
Like his training, yeah.
The temple, for normal people.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think as well, like, there's obviously a lot of powerful artifacts at the sun, and they give off a lot of power. Much like the magical fields surrounding the cities on the sun as well, on the surface. So I think with that you've felt like levels of power, even the sun itself, right? I mean, that's a massive source of power.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And it obviously like invigorates, it like enriches, it's a life giver, it's the burning mother for a reason. And I think this vibe of this power it's almost clinical by comparison. It's not like a cozy campfire when you're cold, like the burning mother might come across,
Mm-hmm.
This is clinical, surgical almost.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm. It's quite it's quite uncomfortable, because of that.
Yeah. I think he'd be kind of taken aback by that, and like just kind of like try and like snap out of it as quickly as possible.
I think as you do, like maybe like when you kind of like fall back onto your backside or something, like from your kneeling.
Yeah.
Like with the kind of like the vibe of the mysticism, you look up and you've got that kind of almost after image of Nyx at first, and then obviously like it fades away to still be him behind it.
Yes.
And you look up at Nyx.
I'd kind of get up, sort of, and kind of scurry and climb up Nyx's back, and just grab onto the back of Nyx.
Are you okay, Zigg?
I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
Okay, this is a good question. Am I able to mind link with Nyx?
I mean,
I need to read this. Hold on.
let us double check. The mystic even. What is the page? Is it like? Yeah, that'll do, right?
Mysticism.
Please
The
stand by while we
page
try to
is-
read.
Mind link, page 84 and page 365. So it's the same as the spell. So page 365. On the doodad. Here we go. You link your mind to that of a touched creature to swiftly communicate large amount of complex information in an instant. You decide what the target learns, limited to any amount of information. So I guess it depends if. So I assume if Nyx counts as a creature,
Which he does.
I guess I can do it. Which he
I
does.
wouldn't
Cool.
call him touched though. Sorry.
Well,
No.
out of
That's you
the
bringing
group.
up the level of the conversation again.
Always, and
So yeah,
forever.
you link your mind to that of a touched creature to swiftly communicate a large amount of complex information in an instant. So yeah, what are you gonna like send?
Kind of just like that like feeling I had of unease and kind of
Yeah, so you basically just upload exactly what I just described to him.
yes,
As well.
basically that.
Even
yeah.
that, like, are you gonna like add in, and by that I mean you probably want to because I said it, all the sensations of what you know from the Burning Mother versus this weird clinical surgery?
Yeah, so the kind of like give a sort of comparison between this like the what would be natural and this is this sort of like
Mhm,
unnatural, sterilized, horrible thing.
That's disconcerting. I think it's not going to be similar to anything I've come across.
Also, like, how does Nyx react? Because do you really give him much of a warning when you just like touch him, and then
No, it kind of happens. I kind of like stand there. When you're trying to explain something, you don't like have the words, and you just go, and then you just
pause
kind of,
at his
like,
face,
skip
going
up and just go,
blah.
and it's like touch mind link. That's
Cool. Mark
easiest
somewhere
way
that
of
you've
getting
used
this
that
across.
for the day.
Yep. I just. Yep. I should probably actually have that
You
in
should
my.
also probably tick it so it's in the just write mind link with Nyx 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I should say that doesn't burn a spell slot because it's ability, not a spell.
It is. It's an at will as a spell-like ability.
Yes.
But only once per day in a given individual.
Yes.
So, yeah, mark
Okay.
that down. Do you have mind link as a button you can push?
Actually, I do. I'll just press it.
Boop. There you go.
Oh, you
Can
can save against it if you want. Actually, I suppose I don't have to force this on you.
Just depends
No, I
if
think
you would or not.
I don't think I would. I think between Zigg and Emmelyn,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's in my liberalness.
And the thing from the cocoon.
Yeah, that was less desired. And I imagine this probably isn't the first time this has happened.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
No, I kind of imagine it's kind of like Zigg's go-to. I can't explain something here.
Yeah,
You have the information
it's
and
like-
work out yourself.
I'll describe this using sun analogies, so I'll just give you the feeling of the sun compared to what this feels like.
Yes.
Although, it still probably staggers Nyx a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of the disjointed
Yeah, because I mean
experience,
it's
but-
about a 10-minute conversation in an instant, right? So it is quite
Mhm.
like, oh god. Yeah, it's probably quite
Yeah.
interesting.
So yeah, I'll definitely pause for a moment to process that.
Mhm.
And then... Have you ever come across anything similar to this?
No. Nothing this like
I also have an image of you just doing this in the middle of the
Bastardized.
street. like just you standing staring very blankly with your hands at your sides, and this rat crawling over your back, touching your face. It's great. I love it.
That's probably their standard
Yep.
investigation team. We should. Do you know anybody that would know more about this?
I guess kind of just shakes his head and says, I mean, Emmelyn might know something, but eh.
This isn't exactly my area of expertise.
I think Zigg does that sort of like knowing.
But I like the idea that your heads are side by side though, because obviously you're on his back, so your head's over his shoulder. And
Yeah.
he's like, this isn't exactly my area of expertise, and you go, by the side of his head. Both of you staring at the same part of like the sidewalk, but which is kind of irrelevant, you know. I say sidewalk like there are cars specifically, and there wasn't just one fancy hover car, you know. Here we are.
So I've been picturing space cabs.
There's
Yeah.
one fancy hover car, there's possibly more.
Imagine that was the only car on the whole
I
station.
mean, you're right, the fucking
That's it.
store.
And we broke it.
There are as many as you need.
Perhaps we can.
You both get pings on your comms saying you've been paid as well at this
Yeah.
point.
There's a bonus to brighten up the day.
I think, yeah, maybe go, as that kind of agreement of you just don't really know what to do next, and then both of you lift your wrists up when you see the comm alert. Yes, you've had deposited into your account by Zora Daora. And it's like a smiling Vesk.
It just looks terrible. It's literally just baring its teeth.
Yeah,
The best emoji.
yep.
I like the idea that it's moving sort of side to side. Like,
Oh yeah, it was originally animated by a Sharon artist, so yeah.
But perhaps we can search the infosphere for more information on this.
okay.
If we can figure out how to word this.
I like the idea that you go, and then we fade out on that kind of futility almost. And then we fade in on Emmelyn in a shop, just looking at different types of like marshmallow and hot chocolate. You've settled on a specific brand. You have no idea why, though, so it's not your normal drink. You head up to the counter, you pay for it, and then where do you go after? Like, you just walk out of the store, and again you're still in that weird kind of almost not quite autopilot, like you know you wanted this, but you're still not really sure why.
I suppose I've not got any more cravings for weird shit, do I?
I mean, you tell me.
I feel like she wanted to go look at like armor and weapons and like other just stuff to buy to have on her person, and like gadgets and things, but she's almost forgotten about it, and she's like, oh yeah, I remember. That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, so like you sling off your backpack, you throw in like the stuff you've just bought from the store. You just bought yourself like a whole bunch of hot chocolate and marshmallows, dump them into the like the backpack. But you notice you've actually brought the cup with you. It's in your backpack as well.
Oh.
And then back on your back. So where are you heading? Gonna go look at some shinies?
Are the shops still open?
Yeah, I mean again, it's probably closer to 8 by now, but yeah, like it's places are still open, yeah. Space doesn't really have a time.
Whoa.
I know, whoa. Everything's relative. Well, keep in mind that people will be coming from all over, right? So their kind of local time will all be different, and the station doesn't want to have, oh, sorry guys, the delegation arrived, but our shops are shut.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Public holiday.
and the station's pretty damn big, you know. So
Do you know? I think she's just bought this hot chocolate and those marshmallows, and she's got her mug. And like when she looks at this mug, she's like, "I really want to have a drink now."
hmm
So she's just gonna head back to the station, to the spaceship.
So I think as you're heading back, you bump into Zora. It's heading your way as well. So you haven't really walked that far, but as you're heading out of the store, because you left maybe like just a bit before Zora finished getting ready and had the conversation with Lyko. So like maybe you're starting to head back, and you and Zora bump into each other.
Oh,
Captain.
I love the idea that now Zora realised that she's not on the ship. She's in fact off the ship.
oh, so you're not on the ship. I think she was be thinking that you were having one of those moments. I chapped on your door, but you never answered. To
Well,
say that you'd be,
What do you mean one of those moments?
I don't know. I mean, what I'm moments, you know.
I've insulted. It's the time of the month.
Oh my. When the psychic pressure is too much for you.
Yeah, I'm just heading back to the ship, Captain. Anything you want me to do first?
No, everything should be fine. Just sure.
This is when Nico's just muted himself to swear a bit at S-Kate being on the ship. Goddamn metagaming can't metagame! Rah! Everything's fine, how are you?
Right, I'm back, sorry.
Okay. So yeah,
Rudely interrupted.
so everything's fine,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just going to go get some equipment. Do you need anything? I'm already getting Lyko a new sniper rifle, apparently.
And it probably would be safer for both to go together, right?
It's true. But, hey, I'm a strong, independent lizard man. Emmelyn can come when she wants to come. It's up to her. I mean, you can come with if you want.
I think she would. I don't know. I think she's a bit conflicted. Like I imagine there's a part of her that wants to have this hot chocolate now,
Mm-hmm.
and another part of her that thinks, you know what, logically I should go get something useful.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, at least you know you've got the hot chocolate as well, right? So you
yeah,
know you've
like I can have
you've
a later.
achieved at least half of that mission.
Yeah. Right. Let's go get the equipment, but if we could make it quick, that would
I
be
would
helpful.
not. I would not. Don't plan it. Dilly-dally.
I love all the specific colloquial phrases Zora has picked up. Chapping on your room door, no dilly-dallying. It's like really weird, specific word choices for the Vesk. Yeah,
Maybe
so
it's Veskin. Maybe
I mean,
it's just,
maybe
it's
that
just
is Veskin. Maybe dilly-dallying means, you know, no time for dilly-dallying. We won't do that. It means no time for minor invasions, only major invasions, you know?
only major invasions. Not this minor invasion stuff with the Vesk.
Why
Some of them
invade a
major.
planet when you can invade a system, right?
Mm.
Am I right? So,
You are right, so like, preach on.
so speaking of preaching on, yeah, you both head towards some arms dealers, I guess.
Good old arms dealers.
Mm. So he's going to head to the reputable, legitimate ones, or the less reputable, legitimate ones.
Don't know. Probably less reputable. I don't.
Yeah, I'd imagine less reputable.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, no got the most of monies. Probably can't afford the most reputable of places, you know.
I mean, shrug. We'll
I'm
see.
just assuming. I was just assuming.
Okay, yeah. So you head off. I think at that point we'll use to like decide. I think maybe we've got that kind of image of Emmelyn looking at the captain, and then the captain's like, "You come with me if you want. You know, I'm gonna go get some arms and armor," as generic NPCs would say. And then Emmelyn maybe looks over her shoulder a bit at the bag strap, and then looks back at the captain and goes, "Yeah, sure, but let's be quick." And that's the audience's way of knowing, do you want that goddamn cup of hot chocolate?
Yeah, that's what I came here for.
And then we'll zoom over to Mr. Quint.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, okay. How far have I gotten in this time?
I mean, yeah, like it's been enough for you to have descended at least a level or two, right?
Cool.
Maybe it's
That'd
just
be
that
the
scene of
case.
like, maybe like during the montaging of everybody moving places, we had you just walking into like a big industrial elevator and the doors closing over and you heading down, you know? And then that says like, we maybe zoom in and you like opening, like the elevator doors open on whatever level number this can be in the background of you for dramatic effect. And you can head out so that people know how far down you've went, you know, for depth.
Even though I don't really know.
Yeah. Shall we say
yeah.
level 17? Yeah?
Why not?
Yeah.
I would begin to not wander, saunter purposefully, sort of keeping an eye out for, you know, haunts that I know of, or who knows how long.
Speaking of
since I've
that,
been
roll
this
perception.
roll percepzione, okay. What am I writing?
Spooky eyes.
Spooky eyes.
Nice.
Very spooky.
So, as you get out of the elevator, you head off, and you know your way to this, like, you know, place. Is this the place you worked, by the way, that you're heading? Or is this
No,
different?
well, I worked in a few places briefly on the station, but his initial job as a doorman was back in Emmelyn.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if like you'd also worked the routine here.
He wasn't necessarily, when I'm looking down into the station, I'm not necessarily looking for one specific bar, but more, you know, sorting by, popping my head in, see if there are any familiar faces. That
Yeah,
might
like
be
going
useful.
around asking the NPCs on the conversation wheel, any rumours? And then, I get it. Like as you walk in, like this place is maybe like a really kind of heavy duty industrial level, whereas maybe a lot of the pipes come through this way, so there's lots of steam for dramatic effect, and
Cool.
pretty much any budget sci-fi scene ever that has just corridors and pipes and tinfoil. It's not particularly cramped though, there's quite a lot of space in this area, but all it is mostly things aren't touching walls because maybe the pipes are hot, you know, things like that. So it's quite a kind of almost sweaty place. Like the heat hits you as soon as the doors of the elevator opened. I say it was a big warehouse style flatbed elevator. Because obviously most elevators don't have flatbeds, of course. And then you walk in and you walk through and you get this weird sense that someone's watching you again.
Okay.
And like you look out the corner of your eye and for a split second you have that paralysing feeling that figure is standing just to the side of you.
Okay.
For clarity, anyone who has forgotten, the figure
I-
was from the Cocoon.
I would sort of just stop a second and, you know, look with my eyes rather than really turning my head.
Like all of a
at
sudden you have that cold feeling up your spine, which is odd for Barai and also this area, given how hot it is.
Yeah, so I turn my eyes, sort of turn my eyes.
I turn
Yes.
my eyes.
I look, you know, look around. Do I see anything in the peripheral now, or?
No, but the feeling isn't gone. So like you kind of look to the side and you still have that feeling that someone's just there.
Okay. Sort of close my eyes, breathe in, and sort of shake it off.
I think as you go to do that, Taylor Swift, what happens is like you get hit in the shoulder
It is me.
as if
Okay.
someone's like brushed past you really like, you know, deliberately. And like maybe that like snaps you out of it and you look
Yeah,
up.
my eyes sort of snap open.
Yeah.
and-
And like, do you react physically when you get like hit in the shoulder? Like, is there an instinct reaction?
Not particularly.
What happens is like as you look open, you see like, you know, a bunch of workers, like industrial kind of like labouring, kind of like big suits on, like heavy duty, almost like a thermal resistant type wear. Like I guess they look like heavy duty welders, have like brushed past you deliberately because you're just standing in the middle of the kind of corridor with your eyes shut. And I get that feeling like as you like looked at them as they've like brushed past and started muttering something in a language that you don't necessarily want to translate. Maybe it just comes up as expletives at the bottom of the subtitles. That feeling's gone all of a sudden.
Okay. I would probably quite literally shake it off in this
Yeah.
sense. Like, it would be a case of actually, like, physically shaking my head and sort of, like, internally saying, he wouldn't say it aloud, but internally, you know, he's thinking, come on, Lyko. You've dealt with worse than this. Get your act together. And continue moving along, which he would then do.
Yeah. But good. So yeah, like if you're heading for anywhere in particular, I know you're just kind of wandering for like, I guess, a local underbelly tavern.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find it. We're going to name this tavern. We're on level 17. It's a sweaty industrial pipe pit. What are we going to call it? Pipeworks. There we go.
Okay, that sounds like my kind of tavern. Okay.
Yep. Pipeworks is what it's called.
Nice.
And I think it's maybe spelled in pipes. You know, of course. Like
Of
it's
course. Like steam coming out of
yeah. Maybe that's the S at the end. It's actually just pipework, but the steam is the S. Because obviously I'm that guy.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
We have
I'll
that sci-fi shot of you outside it, as you walk up after you having.
Is anyone at the door?
I mean, not really. No, there's maybe like a guy passed out on the floor at the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
So
like
just in case, I didn't think there would be much security.
no, there's
but
maybe when you realise you better. Let me try that again. Maybe when you get a bit closer, fused all that into one attempt at a sentence there. You notice that it's actually an unconscious couple just piled on top of each other, like just basically KO'd as if they've been turfed out, but they've just fell asleep there. Yep. Again, sweaty,
sort
kind of like
focused himself.
probably a familiar sight for you, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you can head in. It's yeah, there's like a makeshift door, etc. Very saloon-esque. You head in, and it is just a case of there's like almost like a kind of hole in the wall, like you would at like a kind of back alley, you know, pawn shop, and that's like the equivalent of the bar, where you get served from like a kind of shuttered window, and there's a bunch of like I guess just industrial stuff lying around, like crates and like reels for coiled wire that are just been tipped up on their end, half of them like broken off and stuff. So there's no official tables or chairs or anything, but there's a lot of stuff that have been assembled to form tables and chairs.
Do I see any recognizable faces, or? Well, I mean, I suppose any face is recognizable. Do I see anyone that I recognize?
It's like, look at everyone's faces, walk outside, take a second, walk back in, you recognize everyone. Such an asshole, Ryan. I know, Ryan. Okay, what skills you got? Talk me
That's
through
a
it.
good question.
Where's your generate NPC skill?
Generate NPCs? No, serious question. What the hell would I use to... I guess perception, because I'm looking out for individuals among crowd.
I mean,
Okay.
would it be though? Would it? I think this is a knowledge world like skill. Let me find. What's this? Oh, I always ask this every single time. I need to start remembering.
It's got to be culture, right?
Let's see. I want to find the skills section.
Like, it sure as shit isn't acrobatics, athletics, bluff, computers, diplomacy, disguise, engineering, intimidate, life science, medicine, mysticism, perception, apparently. Physical science, piloting, bounty hunting, sense motive, sleight of hand, stealth, or survival. Although, arguably, you could go for bounty hunting since some of these contacts.
Yeah, like we're
job.
probably getting closer with it, with the the profession. But I want to see, because I think that's maybe where negotiate would have came from, right? As well, like remember we were discussing negotiate last time, and how it seemed to be a missing skill. I think this is where the professions are really meant to give you the ability. A bit more like 13th Age, where if you don't have it in your background, you don't know how to do it efficiently.
I mean, unless
Let me have a quick look at this. Where are
you know,
these skills?
tracking, because really,
Well, yeah, I mean,
anything
obviously,
can be
like
tracked.
if you track future people you would have known, you know, preemptively, then yeah, you're totally right.
I mean, yeah, like you could track cosmology.
Also, hello Emma, if you do happen to listen to this, hashtag Emma is
Emma, we love
precious.
you.
Emma, you're my favorite, and
Wow.
don't let anyone
Calum,
else tell you different.
Wow, what a bitch. What's in the genes?
Who's Emma?
Oh my god.
She was Cyanine in the Star Wars game. That's who Emma was.
No, I'm aware. I'm
Yeah.
aware of who Emma.
Emma's great, and Emma, if you are
Was it
listening,
good?
are very listenable, and we miss you.
I mostly meant for people who want to go listen to the Decontamination Door Dilemma, which is her first official episode of the Star Wars game, Shadows of the Light, on my YouTube. Hashtag.
I have
Which
not
is
listened to that,
fantastic,
but
by the
I
way.
can confirm, as someone who has played with her, that she is a very entertaining person.
Meanwhile, back in this
Yes.
game. Right, so we're looking at... What is the end game here? What is your goal?
Well, so his idea was the investigation having been shut down, he can't exactly waltz up to one of his former contacts from, or well, one of his ongoing contacts, I should say, from the stewards, because they're going to be suspicious of why he's asking about one of their investigations, etc., etc. But having hung around with a lot of the criminal element, both as a steward and as a slightly less legitimate person in the same line of work, he has probably worked with quite a lot of people who would find it useful to keep abreast of what the stewards are doing. So he'd be looking out for not anyone who'd be directly involved, but people who are maybe in the criminal element that make a point of keeping abreast of ongoing investigations. Essentially, the sort of person that might have contacts with more dubious members of the stewards, or the sort of person that might have access to leaked information from a steward investigation. You know, maybe a slightly less scrupulous old, nearly retired steward goes into a bar having a drink after work and shares a little too much, and someone's sitting there in the corner taking notes. You can imagine the scene. So he's looking for people not too traceable. He doesn't want to walk up to someone who would be able to go,
You're looking
"Oh,
for someone
you're
who's
Lyko."
expendable enough, but informed enough.
It's not expendable. It's a case of he wants a degree of plausible deniability, he wants a degree of distance. He doesn't want to waltz up to someone he knows from the stewards, who knows he is, a former steward, and go, "Hey, what about this investigation that was shut down that involved me?"
I mean, not
Isn't
many of the
that-"
stewards look like you, so
No, that's true.
you have this unique look about you.
Yeah.
It's the eyes, I think.
I just want to get a sense of what the people in the know in the underworld think went down with that investigation.
I mean,
How did they crush it, for instance?
right, if you're not going to directly do anything, if it's more of a passive thing, yeah, give me a perception check.
Okay.
And just, I don't know, write ears or something, and that'll do.
Well, I would approach people directly. I'd be looking for my contacts, and then I would approach them and sort of not maybe ask them outright, but try and find out if they might know something, and if they do, maybe flash a few credits.
So I think that's where we come into the diplomacy or intimidate side of things, because bully is a form of intimidate with the ability to make people more friendly if you attempt such a thing. And there's also the opposite of that being the diplomacy, where you're then going to try and change
Yeah.
someone's attitude. So yeah, give me a perception check, we'll see if we find anyone. Right?
Okay, so
So let's just put find, okay?
find.
And
Okay, and
perception.
It's not the best roll.
It's alright, yeah. No, it's okay. I think maybe as you start asking around, maybe you just do that thing where you got to the bar, you get a drink, you then just start leaning against places and occasionally saying sentences to people, just to see who bites, You get a couple of people that are, obviously the rumour mill's maybe started, it's been a couple of hours since that happened. It's maybe been, what was it, it's 4 hours or something since that all happened. So, the entire station's probably buzzing with it. Even though it was covered up, of course, nothing ever happened.
I mean, that's precisely why it'd be buzzing about it, I think.
Especially the lower levels, where it's,
Yeah.
them, I don't want to say the phrase top worlders, but those upper levels folks, thinking we don't see things down here. Oh, we see, we hear, you know. So you've got a bunch of like, yeah, maybe people are a bit too helpful. Maybe that's what you get hit with.
Okay.
So people are very eager to say, oh no, I know about that, and then they kind of do that kind of, hand goes out. Yeah, I know.
Do I get the impression from anyone that they're distinctly legit, or?
I mean, you could always give me some sense motive on them, right?
Okay. Let me roll a sense motive. What shall I write for it?
Sense motive will do, yeah, just type it, just click
Sense
it.
motive.
Yeah, like even just click it, it's fine. We know,
Oh, well.
we know what you're after, that's fine.
Redundante. Oh, that's a roll.
Yeah, like nobody knows fuck all. Like everybody's just heard everybody else talk about the fact that something was covered up and it was some kind of crash / attack / the angels are angry. Like that's all you've heard. You're not what you would say convinced. It's like when you say to Alice, do you know what you're up to? And she goes, I certainly do, and gives you a big thumbs up.
Yeah.
It's that same kind of, they're speaking, but there's no weight behind it. Mostly people are just waiting to see if you'll pay them.
Having determined that no one knows shit at all, to double negativize that, I think what you would do is, rather than just bolt for the door as soon as he's spoken to everyone worth speaking to.
Yeah, like literally NPC or like PC style. Walk in, chat to everyone. Okay, I've not got. Yep, got everybody. Leave. Smash some pots on the way out.
He'd maybe have another drink. Exchange a joke with someone, and then sort of slide out gradually.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably deduct a couple of credits or something for that, right?
Yeah, like 2 will do. Give it a 2 for that. That's fine. You've not really paid anyone for anything, I imagine. So yeah, but yeah, it wasn't bad going. Also, just for your like gathering information type roles, apparently that does fall under diplomacy, which is interesting. Diplomacy checks to gather information based on the nature of information being sought may be adjusted, blah blah blah. And just so you know, your sense motive check of 27, if you just use that as a comparison, the DC for mysterious or obscure individual is 15 plus the character's CR. It's alright, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to give you a bit of scale for what the like. I mean, technically you guys are CR 2, so yeah.
It's good to know.
So
that would have been a really effective role if they'd known anything.
Yeah, but like that lets you know that they definitely knew jack shit, which is
so
also.
I am clear on their.
Yeah, like that you probably won't get much from here, other than that weird vibe that you got, that weird echo almost of that, like who's that behind you? Because even when you looked, it was as if they were still there, but like you couldn't see them, but not like they're standing in front of you invisible, but more like.
Oh no, I entirely know that.
Yeah.
I get sleep paralysis sometimes.
Which is terrifying. And like the. As I said, like the information, as I said, you got was as vague and as colourful as that. People spouting crap about what they have. Obviously, none of these people have been to the upper levels. Like, especially in the last 4 hours, you can tell because they're all filthy from working in these levels, the industrial levels. So yeah, there are a couple of people that are like almost the hipsters of the upper levels. Like they would come down and slum it in bars like this because it's cool. But you can see that they're also like, wearing second skin, their arms. Like you can spot that kind of, you've seen this before. You've maybe had it on Abalon as well, where people like fly out there to go and like go on a bender.
In a sense, I am doing it.
Yeah. So yeah, you get very little, unfortunately, on that, but you do get a sense that maybe you need to be looking elsewhere. Like that the underground of this, at least this area, nobody actually knows anything, but everybody wants to know. So you're kind of in the same boat there. And I guess you kind of get the impression that maybe as you're leaving the bar, as you kind of like slide out carefully and do that kind of half laugh as you're walking out with somebody, and then as soon as you're out of like visual, your like posture and everything straightens back up, and the smile maybe vanishes, and you just start heading back for the elevator. Maybe the thought crosses your head that if somebody on the station would have known, maybe Edgar would have known that. Like that. You've got that kind of Like also, Aspis are quite well connected. You're probably you're probably under the assumption that that was all witnessed as well, you know?
Yeah, well, he's assuming he's being watched. Yes.
Well, definitely, but not necessarily by what.
But that's why he raised the question.
Oh yeah.
His Lyko's actually quite a clever sod, so it occurred to him that it would be much more suspicious to do this, because he was always going to do this. As soon as he found out it was covered up.
Yeah.
But talking about it at length,
Mm.
well, now Wesland knows he's interested in this angle.
Well, he did also call you detective back in the room as well, so...
Yeah.
Fading back
he
in
like?
though, so we'll fade out on you. Maybe you do that one last look over the room before you officially go to the elevator, and we can then leave you narratively vague there. We'll zoom back in on Zora and Emmelyn heading towards the armory. Maybe we kind of like fade in on yous, maybe going in an elevator. Maybe the camera does that thing where it pans past Lyko into the elevator shaft, and it goes up and over a couple of elevator shafts and down into the elevator that yous are in, and the camera sits in there and then settles. And the doors, like maybe it does that shunt to stop. Is there any awkward elevator conversation between the two of you?
Yeah, I'll probably say so. Lyko was saying that you looked pretty uneasy back there in the with Wesland in the meeting.
I didn't like that he was keeping secrets about this woman. He wasn't telling us everything he knew.
Yeah, he's not giving us the whole story, and yeah, I don't understand why. Well, I would at least expect a bit of information if he's so interested in finding her so much. But
Yeah.
corporations, and he would kind of shrug.
I suppose. There was no need for him to speak to you that way, though.
That's alright. I guess it a lot in these places. I mean,
The
I'm
packed
not
worlds.
I'm kind of used to it. I mean, but yeah, it's all good. Packed world will be packed world, people.
Well, if he had known what you did back there on the space station, he would have maybe spoken with a bit more respect. I think she's quite angry at that.
What I love though is that's there, and then if we had someone that was like myself being a soliloquy at the side of the screen, being like, but literally they didn't choose to tell Mr. Wesland this, thus he did not know. And we fade back into conversation.
Yeah, but she's angry. She's still upset. She's still
Oh, of course, yeah.
He should know.
You might have missed this as
Yeah.
well last time though, but Edgar Wesland did greet Zora with a bit of respect when officially entered into the meeting originally, and said, "You are my second favourite war hero." So
Yeah, I heard that bit.
Good old second favourite.
and it wasn't
Still
said
interested to see who's
sarcastically,
first.
like it wasn't sarcastic or anything, it was like a, "You are my second favourite war hero," you know. It wasn't like he was being a dick.
I should have used like my icon stuff and actually found out what his first like favourite icon. Like,
I mean, you
he
can always
was.
phone him, right? Go back. Schedule a meeting.
So, who is your first favourite? Mind I ask you that?
Reveal your betrayals, Zora.
But yeah, I guess after Emmelyn, I was going to say Evelyn there, I don't know why. Emmelyn said about what I'd done in the station, I'd probably just kind of snigger, like, haha, doors.
Puny doors.
Puny doors.
I think with that, like the doors of the elevator open.
Yeah.
As like you kind of like maybe we have like maybe just a sound effect of the doors smashing open in Zora's head as you slightly remember, and then you look out the doors and they open. Yeah, so he's opened up to like a big market, kind of almost kind of like a bazaar, but slightly more shopfront, if you will. And it leads on away. Like a lot of the living quarters are also in these places under the station. Emmelyn, you get a real sense of nostalgia as well when you're here.
Oh.
And you just know that further into this place you can buy weapons and shit.
Head towards furthering weapon place.
Mhm.
Weapons and
Yeah.
armour and such.
But like having a look at everything on the way.
Yeah, like it seems like really, really familiar. Like, you actually kind of catch yourself mid-waving to someone at a stall that you don't actually know.
So
Oh.
was
Spooky.
So yeah, and then maybe you do that thing where like you and Zora are kind of just like doing that shuffling through the crowd, you know, kind of not really talking to each other but being the group, and then you find yourself waving and you look at your hand and then obviously like, put it back down and quickly follow up with Zora, and you get to the weapon store, just called, you know, guns.
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 Yep.
With a Z.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guns are us.
Guns with a big Z, and the Z's all neon and like flickering.
Yeah, I would enter this place. Probably walk up to the guy.
As opposed to just exiting it somehow.
I mean, yeah. I mean, inside out shop.
This session sponsored by Ryan, the asshole GM. Yes, this
Yeah.
session. Yeah, okay,
Boy,
but you head
I'm
in.
looking for a sniper rifle.
There's like an android with like a beard,
Oh.
but it's like all kind of like weird cables and stuff and like frayed copper.
Stylish. I like this android.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he's
That's
got like
pretty
he's got
styling.
like little kind of like half-framed glasses sitting on his nose, and he's got like the dimmest cyan blue LEDs for eyes, and he kind of looks up at you, and he's like, "Oh," and it just kind of goes off in that kind of almost digital sounding noise of "oh," and then obviously I was going to try and make a digital noise there, but I can't.
your
Oh, you can.
your internet's doing
Yeah,
it
that was- that was
The sad
pretty
thing
good.
is, for you guys, yes. For the people on the recording on my side, probably not. You're welcome.
It's pretty
It's
convenient,
okay,
actually.
it's okay,
Told you, like,
you're
convenient timing, right? So yeah, you and Emmelyn. Emmelyn, do you head in with Zora, or are you staying outside? I assume you head in.
Yeah, I'll head in.
Cool, yep.
But
So-
I'll just like take one long look behind me on the whole.
yeah, like there's a
place, like,
strong sense that you don't want to linger here. You want to carry on. There is that kind of vibe of you could go somewhere, but then you maybe dismiss it and head in the store with Zora.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Like Zora, like as you walk in, like you pass through like, you know, just weird USB cables, like a beaded door. They all kind of drag over you really awkwardly.
Interesting. But,
Just literally like an old-fashioned beaded door with
Yeah,
those
yeah,
horrible,
yeah.
annoying, clanky things,
Yeah.
but it's just a bunch of USB
Horrible.
cables.
yeah. Nice.
And then you just get
It's
this robot staring at you, kind of slack-jawed, going, "Whoa!" And obviously the aforementioned digital noises.
Ever seen a vest before?
And then you kind of see him like just adjust his glasses with his hand, but his eyes are like an inch higher than them. Like they look over them, you know. And he adjusts them, and he goes, "What can I sell you today?"
Well, looking for sniper rifle. Hear the Sharon ones are pretty top notch, pretty good.
Like his kind of like eyebrow like starts to like twitch a little, and like one of his LED eyes flickers a little bit brighter for a second, and then he's like, "Yes," and he just stops. And then he looks down at the table and then just like brings out a data pad, and he like, swipes off some of the dust, and then he starts like bleeping on it, and he's like, "Yes, we have knives."
The ocular ridge is twitching again.
The ocular ridge is all average.
It's an ocular twitch.
And I think like as yours twitches, he looks up at you and his twitches, like his eyebrow twitches as well. But his is like in confusion and yours is in frustration. I think with that maybe Emmelyn walks in at that point and you just see these two staring at each other weirdly tensely.
Right. I think she approaches cautiously.
Yeah, and I think like
Guns, you stupid robot. Guns.
That's my name and that's my trade, boy. And then like it kind of like points at his chest, and it's like this really old tattered waistcoat that he's wearing.
I'm leaving.
Like you turn around, you go to leave, you get like flustered in the USB beads, like maybe you tear them off as you go out.
Off on my face.
And then
Yeah.
I think like as that happens, you just hear like Emmelyn, you're obviously in this shop now alone with this this kind of old android man with his copper wired frayed beard, and he kind of turns to you and kind of chuckles and he goes, "Not so patient, those ones." And then
Also, US beads.
yeah, US beads, well done.
Yes,
And
please.
he kind of chuckles and he goes, "Ah," and he just kind of stares at the countertop as if he's forgotten you're there.
Right. I think she would kind of like do like a, you know, look over at him, look over where the Vesk was, look over at him, look over where the Vesk was,
Mhm.
and just follow the Vesk.
Yeah, okay.
Very-
These are learning. Just avoid Ryan's NPCs.
We will just order it from Amazon. It's fine.
You mean Spamazon? Other obviously retailers online apply.
Other things
Yes.
exist.
So yeah, you like maybe like Zora's just standing in the middle of the street with people like rushing past, quite busy. And then Emmelyn, you catch up. What was Zora doing?
He's probably just got his arms folded, like looking around, probably for a shop called Knives. Like, because it seems to be going pardon.
No, but there is a shop called Blades.
Yeah, let's go in here.
The B has got the neon flicker this time though.
Okay.
It's also,
Oh god, I think you know what's coming.
I think at this
Like-
point, like Emmelyn would, in her brain voice.
before we
in
carry
the-
on, can
Oh,
I
okay,
have
sorry.
that's okay. Like, can I have Zora just roll a D2 for me, please? just a D2. I just need to make a decision that I don't want to make. Cool. Right, carry on.
Okay. So at that point, I think Emmelyn, in her inside voice,
Mhm.
as we call it now,
Inside voice.
would go. Did they not have the rifle?
He only sold knives. What sort of place? This patch worders just confuse me at times.
Would I have any memory of where I could find guns?
Yeah, that shop sells guns.
Oh my god.
Like you could physically see guns in the store behind the
Oh,
counter.
right. Oh, right, okay.
It's just the old man just said knives. That's all.
You know.
But yep, there's a store in front of you, Zora. You've wandered down the street a bit. It's not even that far away. Like could be a rival store for all you know. And it just says Blades with a flashing B for the neon sign.
I mean, this is going to sell guns, right?
Who knows?
No. Okay.
Where sells guns?
It's up to
You
you.
can find a gun store in every corner in Viscarium.
The Viscarium is a gun store. So yeah, like, are you gonna go into Blades or are you gonna go back to guns?
Maybe you should speak to the old crazy robot. Like that'd maybe be a good idea. I
Okay.
might end up breaking him across my leg.
Yeah, I think this might require a little bit more finesse.
So Lyko whispers somewhere through a pipeline. I'm Dex primary bitches.
I don't have I don't have diplomacy, but I mean, I just need to. I can't use it against that man.
My
I wanna
favourite thing
break
is, like, you have probably the highest, like, besides Emmelyn, like, you've probably got the second highest charisma in the entire party. I just love how you're like, yeah, but I use it to be angry.
I've got diplomacy and I've actually got it skilled up pretty
Yeah.
high, but I don't really know if Zora's going to use it much.
Well, for that gathering information role that we just discovered exists, yeah. Right, so Zora, what are you doing? Are you going to let Emmelyn head in to get
Yeah.
guns,
Yes.
or heading to
Right.
blades? What's happening?
Oh, we'll go to guns. Why don't you get Lyko's gun? Where can I get some armor upgrades?
Guns or blades, wherever you want to go.
Guns or bullets?
Yeah.
Guns. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go to guns.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you head back in. Who goes first?
I'll go first.
Yep. Cool. You gracefully go through the gap left torn in the US beads. Just sounds really patriotic now, doesn't it? Oddly, for the Americas.
US.
The USBs.
But yeah, so you head through, and then Zora, you're daunted by this doorway again, and you head through.
Fatty spot in front of the face.
And then, like, you see the old android like kind of fanning himself with like what looks like RAM boards, and he just kind of chuckles to himself like, "Welcome back." And like kind of like really like kind of like self-endeavored chuckling. Like,
I'd give my toothy smile.
he gives you like a toothy smile as well, but his are missing some.
Alright, so I think Emily would walk up to him and just be charming and say, good evening, sir. Or day, what is it? Is it day? Is it evening?
It's probably like 9 at
Evening.
night or
Night.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. We would like to buy a gun. Can we
Okay.
have a look at your rifles?
Like he leans over the counter and kind of like stares at you really closely, and then looks you up and down, and then looks over the shoulder, and then just laughs again at Zora, and then kind of goes back and goes, "Yes,
Just laughing at me.
guns are good, not like knives." And he kind of like, "Pa!" and waves at the doorway, in the general direction of the blade store, and then
Well, I mean, that's why we're here, because we know that you've got the goods.
kind of like goes to wink at you, but like the eyebrow only goes like halfway down, and the eye blink, like the LED blinks off, and it doesn't come back on. And he kind of like hits the side of his head, and then kind of like blinks a couple of times, but then the like LED is still off, and he kind of just shrugs and then just shuffles in the back. And he's gone for like a minute.
Okay, I will wait while looking about and kind of tapping my hand on the counter.
Mhm.
Just gently, just like...
Yeah.
Do.
And what is the shopping list you're actually looking for, so I can actually work out if you will have this or not? So you want a Shurin rifle, I know that much.
Yeah, Sharon rifle. And me personally, I'm out for some jump jets, but I mean, that's just me, man.
Nate, book, page, etc. You know the rules.
Book page, cool. Cool.
Book page.
Book page.
I'm after a needler pistol
Okay.
on the 173.
Needler pistol 173, that's probably fine.
It's just a wee thing.
Oh, wee. Let's see.
Oh shit! I forgot it. I also need to pistol. Never mind.
You could call
Also,
them.
the
Like if you activate your comms, you could get to them.
I don't know. He's sort of paranoid about being listened into, so I don't know if he would do it.
Depends what you're doing at the end of your journée.
Well, anyway, the sniper rifle I was looking at, it was a Sure and I rifle tactical level 2, price 755. It's on 178 of the core book.
The needler pistol will cost you 150, just so you know.
Will it?
Yes.
Because... Oh,
So I can.
can I try
Are
to
you-
haggle?
Are you? Yeah, you can definitely try and haggle with this man.
Haggle his brains right out.
Well, you might be missing an eye now, so.
One step closer to the edge.
And he has broken.
I'll just get him to wink again and
He'll be blind.
he'll not see.
Right, okay, so yeah, so type in to the general text all the items. So we want a needler pistol, we want What else? You want a Sharon?
I'm just trying to
Jump
find
Just
this.
on Discord.
Yeah, just on Discord, just in general text. I mean, do it in Roll20 if you really want, but I don't really mind where it is, so long as it's somewhere listed. So I know what user want. I can work out what all this nonsense is. It was a level 2, the Sharon rifle in the core book, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it's a sniper.
Snip rifle.
Cool, so let me just react to that. That will be how much that costs. Obviously just as the listed price. Jump jets, is that on the same... let me just do that so I can work out what it is later, and then you can put in the sniper as well, which is the Sharon Eye, isn't it? Tactical.
Yep, it's 178. It's 755 price.
Cool.
I'll do that for you, just so you know as well.
Cool. I'm gonna edit the price that those are listed at.
Can you get ammunition from him as well?
Definitely. The jump jets are listed at that price, by the way, Nico.
It's worth remembering as well that when you buy a gun, it comes with the ammunition.
Cool.
For one full clip.
Which also does remind me I should probably ask for some ammunition.
You can have done that, yeah. I think that's safe to assume that you can have.
Yeah,
I assumed that you either got wanted ammunition.
So yeah,
There you go.
75 price for 25 sniper rounds. So
All the ammo is as the
50.
listed price, yeah. So there's the prices. Yeah, so he comes back out. He's got the order drawn up, and he hands over like he turns the kind of screen round for the order, and obviously it's like maybe it's like a tablet on the outside of the kind of shop counter, and it's got the listed like the total there, and it's got jump jets, one previous owner, 500 credits. It's then got a needler pistol new, 150, Sharon Eye tactical rifle new-ish, 1000. And that's how they're listed.
Second you. It's going to prove to be troublesome later a bit.
I mean, they're half price for a reason, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I use them.
It's up to you. You don't have to buy them.
I'll buy them. Get them repaired. We'll have Nick's
So-
take a look at them.
I think when he gives us the prices,
That'll cost you.
Emmelyn is going to be like, well, we're buying quite a lot from you. Could we get a bulk buy discount?
He kind of narrows his other LED eye, and then like the other one kind of blinks in too brightly, and it startles him a little, and then he kind of moves back a bit, and he goes, "You want to buy more? Yes, you buy lots." And he kind of looks back at you and he like flicks open the ram into the fan shape again and starts waving like at himself, fanning himself. How much you want to buy?
Out of character, if you buzzed me to ask, I might say, you know, I could also do with the new pistol or something to that effect.
And he kind of like smiles and goes, "You buy 5,000 credits. I give you for 4,000. He kind of like nods to himself like he's made the best deal of the day.
I think in my inside voice, ask the captain, what do you think of this deal?
Can you think of another 3,000's worth to buy?
Well, you're already at
I
what?
can't-
You're at 1,000. What? 165 plus. What are you doing for ammo? Have you totaled the ammo yet? That you want to buy extra?
Well,
Yeah,
my
so
thing
much
is
ammo,
a injection thing, so I'm gonna get more like poisons.
Yeah. This guy
Uh,
definitely does not sell that though. But yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I was asking. Like, would he sell ammo? But also,
ammo yes,
like-
but the needler is quite special.
yeah,
It
That's
is
what I was
like
thinking.
an injecty gun, I believe.
It is indeed.
does he sell armor?
Yeah. Oh, Zigg. If only you could buy spell slots, indeed.
Because there's a fancy armor that I'm looking at.
What are you looking at? Page and book media?
I am looking at page 197 at the Lashunta Temp Weave basic.
197 Lashunta Temp Weave basic. Yeah, he definitely wouldn't have that, unfortunately.
Okay.
Nah, that is just... It's a bit too... You'd probably be able to get that from Aspis, but not from this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's fair enough. It's a long shot, but
Yeah, it's definitely worth asking though, but yeah, it's like...
yeah.
He's not that kind of guy, sadly.
Anyone?
Well equipped.
I mean, I definitely have a shopping list.
I mean, are you going to call out everybody else, or are you going to...
Come us in.
It would only be if they asked.
Yeah, because I wouldn't comment either. So
No, that's what I mean by, like, if
Yeah.
Zora and or Emmelyn, like, the user
I'll
hit with
call
the...
them.
User,
I'll call them
if you
after
can
them
get
and
this,
after.
it's like a Domino's discount and or other takeaways that apply discounts also apply. But the, you know, if you get the order up to 25 quid, you get it for 15 quid type vibe, isn't it? So
Mhm.
if you get it up to
Yeah.
5,000, he'll give you for 4.
I could maybe negotiate that further down as well.
I mean, you could definitely try, yeah.
So you bring around your mates.
But
Yeah,
just
I'll-
in case we
I'll
want to
come-
get something else. Yeah.
Call them in. I'll probably well, I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably call Lyko first, I guess.
So Lyko's comms aren't on the grid, so you can't call him.
Okay, on the grid.
Remember, you need to be
Okay.
hooked up to the station to get coverage.
Can I do that from here? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
you're welcome to be connected to the infosphere. To get,
but I would have to also be connected
Yeah.
before I can receive the call. I
Yup.
see.
I know it's almost like technology needs
Right, okay.
transceivers.
Okay, so I would just remember what you said. It probably wouldn't be able to get in touch with him, maybe. So
Yeah, you would
back.
only know about the
Yeah,
server
like,
if-
you know, like dark comms type vibe. Lyko's probably done this a lot, right?
Yeah, yes, he would.
I'll
do
be
that.
back at this time. If I don't, please come
Just
rescue me.
Let's assume I said about 50 rounds or something then. Because obviously we'd want ammo with it.
cool, 15 rounds. Don't know how much that is. I'll need to check, but I'll call it.
Put it in the text and we'll just do it as a shopping list. Like, just throw it into the text
So
in
50
Discord.
rounds would be 150.
And obviously, who would, like, if you don't get Lyko then, are you going to call the others?
Yes, I would call him next. For second, I guess.
Cool. Next, are you on the infosphere? I think you were, because you and Zigg wanted to both use the infosphere of the station.
Yes,
So, yep,
who's
use
going to do some
get
Googling?
a babbity boobty on the old com.
Bibbidi babbidi.
A wee Vesk
Calum?
loco opens up.
Next, we've got are you looking for anything for the arms dealer? We kind of need to spend like another 3,500 credits, give or take.
I can certainly put together a list.
You've got 4
He's
inboxed emails already.
Yep. So I'm looking for some armor. And the shoulder laser.
So I think what we'll do at this point is we'll checkpoint here, and we'll let you
Yep.
guys deal with the shopping list off camera, and we can cover
Yep.
that list because it's a bit kind of maintenancey.
Mm.
Maybe do
Fun and games.
we'll do that next off the recording. Sorry, those who really like shopping adventures that are listening to us. Hashtag those folks. And
I didn't even get a chance to haggle properly.
not yet. I mean, not yet. We can like get the list, you know,
Yeah.
composed.
Later. We can do the
Um,
list later.
I mean, it depends. If you want to go to later,
Spec that.
we can go to 11 if need be. But I mean, you know how it is. It would involve changing the bulb, and there's a whole bunch of references for you guys. And but no, I was going to try and wrap us up here then, because I figured that's us at 10:30.
It's
That's
not the
too
worst
bad.
idea. It is getting a little bit late.
Yeah.
And obviously we can just montage this part, and if you need to do some rolls, we can do some rolls. It's up to you. If you want to haggle Olka, you can definitely roll now, or you can wait till next week.
I can just roll now.
Cool. So if you want to do, how are you going to do this? Are we going to do an intimidate? Are we going to do a seduce? Are we going to do a blah? Like what is this?
Seduce him.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't know. What are suggestions from the table?
I mean, this sounds like it might be a reading the skill list and working that out next week as well conversation.
Yeah. I just want to
I
roll
mean-
bluff because I haven't had a chance to yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think bluff is a sensible choice here because intimidate
And
doesn't
it's the
sound like
closest
the
thing that I can see.
What
would be-
I always lose the skills page. I need to bookmark the goddamn skills page. There is
I
actually.
think the simple question is like, what would you use on this particular guy? And like, he's an old bleeping LED light, essentially.
I mean, I can
Are you
tell
going
him.
to try and intimidate or seduce him? No.
No, I'm gonna tell him like, you know what? If we get a good deal, we'll come back later to get more.
We'll tell all our friends.
Which
both
isn't
of them.
necessarily a lie.
Yeah, we'll tell all our friends.
I mean, that's also not a lie, given that all your friends are this crew. So
Yeah. So
is that just like diplomacy?
I mean, it sounds
Or-
like
I want to roll bluff.
Well, lie to him then.
tell them you have many friends in piety.
we have a lot of money back in the ship, and we will come back tomorrow. Get the rest.
See, to me that isn't you trying to get a deal now though. That's just you saying we will come back later, and when you do your transaction and you don't, then you will have lied to him.
If we get a good deal today, we will come back
We're part of a big
with more
business
money.
that wants lots of weapons.
I'll be honest,
Yeah.
I just don't see him going for it. I really don't.
Or like we can get him like a contract with a.
Okay, keep
Like a
going with this
running-
idea, right? This is more right. So you get a contract with who?
With the what are they called?
Aspis?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, are you sure you want to name drop this?
No, let's go for it. You're not there to say no, right? So you'll hook him up with Aspis Corporation or Consortium, sorry, right? If you get him a good deal, if you get a good deal now, yeah,
Yeah.
right, okay. Roll bluff, and then just say lie to poor sweet old man. Type that. Poor guns.
Oh god.
There's a -2 to this, just so you know.
Oh, well.
I don't know, that make much of a
So
difference.
26.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. So it's a 26. Just yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Like I think I should do that. Like the LEDs kind of light up a bit more for a split second, like really bright, as if you've got his attention. He kind of like snaps his head at you, but he like looks a bit too far to the right and kind of overshoots you, and then he turns his head back slowly and he starts fanning himself again, going, "That is a good deal." And he goes, "You put it in writing now." And he puts his data pad across to you.
We're never coming back to guns again.
Can I sign with a fake name?
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, could you want to give a computers check?
That might not go so well.
Oh yeah. But like, this guy is
Alright.
totally on board for this deal now.
Yeah, so computer check. Okay.
Like, I should probably roll for him, but I just feel it's funnier if I don't. Cool.
As long as it's not a 1, right?
I mean,
It is not.
That's pretty decent.
That's actually respectable. That's a good roll.
It's actually
Been
not
hanging around the
bad.
Android.
So yeah,
yeah.
let me checkpoint this.
Oh.
So, Aspis Consortium contract.
This won't come back to bite us at all, will it?
for
Nah.
old man
Of
guns.
course not.
You're fine.
Old man
It's
guns.
fine.
Fake signature. What name did you put down?
I'm trying to think of a fake name that isn't like just my name, but like Emmelyn.
Gang Shinehorn.
Oh god, no. Let's not, don't cross the games. That was Senator Wolfgang Schindler, have you know?
Senator. Those kegs right hot.
I mean, I think you know how many names in this universe currently. You know all your character names. You know Alice. You know
Bradlin Button.
You know Bradlin Button.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
No,
Bradlin.
No.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
Oh god.
Do
So,
it.
That's what she would have done.
sounds
just
Bradlin
Nice.
Then it's untraceable.
Button.
Oh no.
Right. Okay. It's done. I've got it in my notebook.
I'm starting to see why the otherwise seemingly quite nice Emmelyn is on this somewhat dubious team.
That's when Lyko walks around. I was the good guy. That's wrong. Just walks away shaking his head. Ship
God,
blows
no.
up in the background.
He's going to turn into Dietrich after all. I'll
So-
have to kill someone.
Anyway, back in the game. With that, you can work out a total number for me, and I'll give you the discount you get on this out
Yeah.
with the show, because he's definitely going to discount you with the idea that he gets a contract with Astus. Poor old man. Yeah.
Poor old man.
I really want Zigg to be here so I can end this session. So, God damn it, Zigg, why did you have to be there? Yeah, I think with that, yous can leave with the aforementioned stuff that we'll decide on later, so long as it's all within item level requirements. See your stuff there, Alex?
Yes.
What's the item levels of them?
I'll figure that out. I think it's all level 2.
So long as it's 2 and below, there'll be no issue with this guy having it.
I've added a shopping list on the game manager.
Excellent. Thank you.
People can just add their stuff in there.
And just make sure you give me references for it, stuff, page references and whatnot, because otherwise I just wouldn't know. Basically,
It should be beautifully arranged.
I appreciate such a things.
I have a question.
Okay.
If we're not proficient with a weapon, can we still use it?
I think there's like, is it a
Yes.
Minus 4.
-4
Yep.
to use it? But you can use it, yeah. So yeah,
Real
it's,
downside is,
I mean, you can always crit, so that's the thing.
yeah.
Right, we got Zigg back yet, so I can goddamn end this session.
I wouldn't necessarily advise it. That's what I was saying.
Right, we will wait for a Zigg.
Yeah,
is
because
it?
I was thinking of like a injection glove. I saw.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's
Advanced melee.
advanced.
You gonna get up close
Yeah.
and personal though?
Well, maybe if she had that, she would.
Yeah. Well, aren't
If you're
feet
running away.
Yeah,
feats
take the
every odd
skills.
level?
That's true.
So when you hit level 3, you'll be able to get the
Yeah.
feat for that,
That's
right?
true.
That's a feat somewhere.
I'll have to have a think and have a look at the.
I mean, psychic powers don't have any range, right?
Huh. Some don't. Some don't.
I'll have a closer look off screen.
Yes. What about what are you likely to have done after the elevator fade out scene?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like, what is your next plan that you've like kind of?
Having got the impression that he's not going to find anything on these levels, he might just start heading back up, but I'm not 100% convinced he would just pop back right away. Like, he's not that easily deterred. Like, maybe he'd try something a little bit further up, see if anything more has gone there.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we could just sort of montage it if it's not going to be productive, and like just have him go around it and montage that next session or whatever.
Well, we can have a think between sessions and decide like roughly where you want to go. Maybe have a read over Absalom Station as well, and just like in the core book, and be like, where would I go? What would make sense for him to do? Like, you can message me. We can arrange some stuff that we can talk about so that you know what Lyko would know as well.
Yes.
And we'll definitely script in stuff that you could be doing, because yeah, there's a lot you guys can be doing on the station. The station is huge. Good. Zigg is back. You definitely picked the worst time to have left there, but it's fine.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's completely fine.
Emergency, but it's fine.
Completely fine, except for all the fire. Yeah.
Oh god.
Ending
Gotta
anything?
go cat on fire!
Anyone desperate to do anything before we close the session?
No.
So we've got.
No.
Look meaningful
personal.
off into the distance.
Well, like, we'll have whatever Nyx and Zigg did with their infosphere investigation. We'll follow up on Lyko with his investigation. Like basically walking the beat, I guess. We'll have the adventures of fleecing old man guns. There's a finale to that as well. But yeah, so I think as you are heading out of the store with your, guns are better than blades bags, with all your stuff in them, as you just head back, I'm assuming you might just head back to the ship to dump stuff to kind of sync back up with people, or maybe you just go elsewhere. Again, I think when Emmelyn walks out of the store, like, she gives the rest of the stuff to Zora and then wanders off in that direction that pulled her before. We have Zora go one way and go, right, go be safe, get you back at the ship. You head off towards the, like, kind of like, just again further in, where Zora's heading back towards the elevators. You start going down there. You start to go to like what looks like habitation blocks. You climb some steps. You go up, and then like there's a keypad locking the door, and you just absentmindedly tap in the code. You hear the click. We see the green light hit, and the door slides open, and then you step in, and that door closes on you. Obviously behind you, not on you, and crushes you. Obviously that's horrible. But like that,
That's how my character died.
she's gone. So you walk in, and that closes behind you, and we fade out on you there. We've just got the kind of like lingering shot as the camera pulls all the way back, just over Zora heading towards the elevators. We've maybe got Lyko, does that thing where the camera shoots past all the elevator shafts and goes to Lyko, leaning against the elevator buttons, trying to think what floor to go to, and he just starts pushing other floor buttons to go to different places. Like maybe you've hit 1 to go back to the surface, and then as it moves you hit stop, and then hit like 5 or something because you've changed your mind. The camera zooms away to wherever the hell we find Nix 5 and Zigg on the station, and then the camera eventually works its way all the way back to the ship, where we see Alice standing. Be like, okay, I understand, and then like smiling and giving the thumbs up towards the camera, and then obviously the camera pans round and it just sees like Agent Escape's face, like staring at the camera, with over the shoulder. Alice is in the background with a thumbs up, with her eyes closed, smiling, and then she goes, "You know what to do," and then it just closes dramatically there. So yeah, that is the end of session 8, and yeah, what would you just like to name it?
Well, here we go. I have
I know
a page.
a lot
like,
happened
written of
in
names.
this.
So the two lesser names that I have written down here
Right.
are Spermits.
No,
spell.
unacceptable.
Can that be an arc?
Inside
actually?
Voice.
Chapter 2,
I like that.
Experiments.
Inside Voice. I have Highly Cocked Ocular Ridge.
Cocular Ridge.
Oh god, no.
Oh.
Most of them are just variations on that. It's just Cocked Ocular Ridge, Ocular Twitch.
Twitch.
Right, so let's summarise
that's
what we
pretty
did.
much
What did we
it.
do? We had the crash and the the brief confrontation. We had the second debrief with Edgar. The almost angry it's debrief with Edgar, I guess, taunting Zora. I mean, actually, like, taunts and lies isn't the worst name, is it? For the session, but yeah, kind of ties in the start and then the end.
I had mystery shopper in my head.
Mystery shopper,
Guns and stuff.
guns and stuff.
Guns and stuff.
What else did we have here? We had some detective work by folks, quite a lot of folks. We had Space Station Noir. Might not that's maybe a next session title, maybe depending on what you do.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what we
Yeah.
do.
I feel like we do this a lot, where we suggest titles for the next ones, but then we do something totally different. So
Yes.
That's very
there's just like a book of the untold chapters. What else did we do? We had obviously Escape play a bit of a part in this with Alice.
Oh, I was so upset.
She was a girl. Yes.
There's that. Yeah.
Oh, he couldn't have made it any more obvious, could he?
Oh dear. He was a punk.
All of her friends stuck up their nose. They had a problem with his baggy clothes.
There was drinking more spin. What else do we have? Also, other songs do exist. Those of you on the recording.
Spin Doctor.
Really...
There were no doctors.
No,
but, you know.
definitely no doctors, unless Guns in a previous life was maybe a doctor. It's probably... Imagine this was actually Edgar Weslin's first favourite war hero, was Old Man Guns. He's seen some shit with his copper beard.
Oh, he's just seen it all, man. He's seen it all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, he's kind of did some investigating, some shopping. I mean, Mystery Shopper isn't actually the worst title.
Mystery Shopper's
Oh.
actually.
That's what I was thinking, because there's a mystery.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a mystery.
Is it
Okay.
Mystery,
I
comma,
agree,
Shopper?
There are worse titles.
Right, somebody pick a title and then type it in, because that's...
Mystery Shopper.
Yeah,
A
Mystery Shopper.
mystery shopper. I'm like,
Miss Terry Shopper.
Terry Shopper, how are you today? Right, let's do the usual then. Zigg. Let's start from the bottom and go up.
oh god.
Yep.
Mystery Shopper. Oh, that's good. But yes,
Sorry.
That's okay.
he broke his.
Well, these things happen. Mystery Shopper. So, what was your favourite bits, Zigg?
I continue to love and did love, obviously, just Emmelyn's interactions with Alice and her just undying hatred towards her. I just thought that whole, with Alice and Zora and Emmelyn and Zora, and then Alice butting in. I just love that whole scene that Emmelyn's just so on point with her distaste towards Alice.
Thank you.
Alice
It's
is a gem.
she's very likable though. She's very cute.
I really like that you like her personally, but obviously in
Yeah.
character
Yes.
RP that you dislike her. I love
loved
it.
that moment going, oh, that's out of character, by the way.
To be fair, Alice is adorable. I mean, I'm unbiased, of course, but
I swear to God, if I don't get to meet Alice, I'll be so upset.
In unbiased
If
opinion.
anything happens to Alice,
well,
Well,
I mean, a girl called Alice would have been a great title actually, but yeah,
she's my only friend.
A girl
Aw.
named Johnny.
a boy named Sue. Can name songs as well.
Living next door to Alice.
Alice? Who the?
24 years.
So, working up the way, it
Yeah.
would be me.
My favourite things were the game in general. You guys are actually pretty damn good role playing. I just realised I generally never say much in these parts, and I probably should, because I say them after the recordings end. So sorry everybody that missed all those extra bits. There'll be a Patreon video at some point when I figure out Patreon, and then they won't be. That's a lie. And one of many. And
Already on it.
Patreon. Told you.
Patreon.
Yes, let's podcast this bitch.
And then, yeah, I just think you guys are doing pretty damn well. I think even since session 2, you guys were on point with your characters. I think that continues well. I actually just love your interactions. I already feel the Guardians family vibe from you guys already, but then Guardians did that pretty quickly as well. So, yous are welcome. Who knew? Space stations, it's the way to go, guys.
Guntastic.
Spations.
It's patience.
Spatians.
Expectations.
Colin?
Yeah, it was cool for me to be able to interact with some other, some stewards. As a former steward, my character, it was quite. I don't know if that's been explicitly stated before.
Maybe
I'm
not,
sure
yeah.
it probably has at least indirectly been referenced, but I don't know if it's explicitly stated.
I mean, I feel like
Although this is certainly the first time it's come up.
it's definitely not the first time it's come up, but I think it's, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's ever been explicit that you were an ex-steward.
Yeah, so Lyko, having worked with these people before, he kind of knows how to handle, and not only that, as it, and this is why I particularly enjoyed the scene, as it came across, there's sort of that, he is essentially a retired cop, so he gets a bit of.
Well, I love
leeway
that. Like, you know,
next to
it's
other
okay. They won't necessarily notice us or notice us. Quint. Like, I love that. That's just very stereotypical TV show nonsense. I love it.
But yeah, Lyko was sort of. There was a degree of, yeah, gotta play this cool, but also he sort of. I just enjoyed that because it sort of demonstrated how it would be useful to have someone like Lyko around, because as much as he obviously stands out in a lot of ways that maybe make. I mean, he can disguise himself pretty well, but let's say you're going about your day-to-day business, you stand out as a pariah undead. But it demonstrates how he can be useful in the sense of, like, he can maybe talk to people that a Vesk possibly couldn't. I mean,
Which is probably a lot of people. Let's
yeah,
be
like,
real.
the Captain's a big threatening guy, right? Or if you
Literally,
look at
like system-wide famous, right, as well.
yeah. You look at the rest of the party, they're maybe not the sort of people that could sort of go up to a policeman on duty and have a quick chat and maybe get a couple of wee tidbits, as people say these days, because it used to be tidbits. I liked getting to explore that bit of the character, that aspect of him. It was also a lot of fun for me just being able to go down to lower sections and sort of wander into a bar and just to do some generic Lyko shit. Because sometimes when you're in the party, you go, oh yeah, my character's done this 100 times, but because you're always with the party, you don't get to actually do that thing.
And as you can see from this session, splitting the party can be done, so long as everybody's willing to be spread across a location.
It was nice. It was a nice bit of like show don't tell, right? And yeah, as with Calum, I very much enjoyed the ongoing Lashunta versus AI grudge.
You will win.
We are legion. We are many.
Ah, yes.
She shall be assimilated.
Oh,
Not to give away my intentions.
No. Yeah.
You bog.
What about you and Alex?
We'll jump to the hive mind. No, I think really enjoyed like getting bits of characters' backstory starting to come through more. Like Lyko's relationship with the stewards. I was like seeing those drop in.
This pops. You can say it.
Space
This
cops.
Yep.
Pops.
Pops.
Yep. Spigs.
Oh dear. Oh.
Just showing my true colours. No, and Emmelyn's drops of like the mind of the guy that she picked up.
yeah, that was cool.
It was lovely flavour.
I know, like
Kinda
I felt kind of bad because I felt like I was RPing for Emmelyn a bit this session, but there was a lot of stuff that just would make more sense if I described it happening than me messaging
because
secretly.
it's out of her control, really.
Yeah, it's
in a way.
impulse, right? So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, normally what I would do is I would privately message your player and say, please act this way, but then it usually gets done at the wrong time. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. It's easier this way. And I think it's a bit more cinematic that way because it's a bit of a surprise for you as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
how
I
we've-
like it. I'm not.
No, good,
like,
good.
I'm
I was pleased
I'm a fan of it.
because some people would be like, that's my character, you back off, you spooky bitch. So, like,
Which is of course
it's a universal term, yeah, the Pact Worlds term.
I definitely get it because I play a psychic character in a different campaign, and I think you get the most of it when you let the GM kind of take control for a little bit.
Because there is fun knowing a
explore
scene that you've sculpted with the GM, but there's also a bit more fun being surprised yourself. Because I'm a fan of sculpting scenes with my GMs that I play under, but then at the same time, sometimes it's nice to just go, please just do something that is like makes me go, oh,
Gives you something to react to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
That's
just
how you
say,
learn
like,
about
this
your
is
character.
possibly a slightly obvious thing, but I just really enjoyed that it seemed like the involuntary thing tied into the cup, the mug, and maybe that is just taking the obvious route and that won't actually turn out to be relevant, whatever. That'd be interesting in of itself, but what I just enjoyed was I liked that you didn't at any point say, you know, a mysterious cup guides you or something like that. It was just a little thing that we could go, all right, yeah. I get it.
well, as
That
you
was
said,
fun.
like show don't tell, right? Like it's
Yes.
Yeah.
like my first ever RP, just to go slightly off topic very quickly. My first ever RP was very much tell and then hope people just understood it, because I was a new GM, right? And then as kind of time went on, I realised, really, I should be just describing a bunch of stuff and letting you guys make all the assumptions, and then me hopefully trolling all your assumptions for really good ideas. So
there are times where like you just have to convey information, like the cutscene things that you do. Like if there's something going on that we have no way of knowing, but we as players probably should have an idea of.
I like it from
drama.
a TV show point of view, because you know something was happening to the ship, but you all chose to leave the ship, right? And I like that. Also, the kind of cup scene with Emmelyn leaving the ship looks very contrived when you see what happened on the ship, but at the same time, had that not come up, then it wouldn't have happened, and then Emmelyn would have been on the ship herself with Alice. I don't think that was going to last very long, right? She probably just went gambling or something just to get off the ship.
Oh yeah.
Impulse control and all that. But in terms of, was there anything else, Alex, you wanted to highlight?
Just continuing the development of Nyx being Zigg's climbing frame.
Yeah, I like that a lot, to be honest. It was really kind of nice. Just the instinctual, there's Nyx, I'll climb him.
He's the safe space.
Yeah. I'll also just send psychically some thoughts to you because we don't talk.
It's more efficient this way.
Yeah. Before I move on to you, Nico, I really liked the continued opportunity to make Alice feel awkward about when MD brings up the friendship with Nyx. I thought it was really funny. Just saying, that was really, really funny. She just stands staring in the cargo hold, embarrassed for no reason because she doesn't really know what that means. What about you, Nico?
Right. I'm enjoying. Well, I enjoyed biting my tongue with Wesland as much as I stood the sound of it.
I mean, part of me's proud, part of me's sad. Like it's definitely ambivalence, right?
I enjoy how Colin is playing Lyko, like in a way that a lone wolf character should be in a group. If you know what I mean? Like if that makes sense. Like it's like a lone wolf character, but it actually isn't like the mundane. I don't speak to anybody. I hate everybody. Like it's not that kind of lone wolf. If you know what I mean.
That's
like,
it. I know what my skills are. They aren't useful here. On you go, guys. And then it's right, guys. You should do this because I'm gonna go sneak that way. So could you just make a lot of noise over there? Cheers, bye. Like it's a very interactive lone wolf, and it works.
Yeah, definitely very detective-y with the breakdown why he wanted to go down and how I liked his description of how just everything seemed off, like when he was speaking to me on the ship. Obviously, the Emmelyn hate of AI, that's always good fun. That's always good fun. I mean, if I didn't have my diplomatic training, I'd probably be in the same boat. But like, I'm just like, yes, Alice, you do you.
Well, I like the fact that you actually addressed that between each other. Like when you kind of had a private moment, you actually were like, "No, like, what do you mean she's part of the crew?" I like that moment. It was good. It was kind of because you know, like Emmelyn maybe bit her tongue until she was alone. You know, because technically you would have been present in previous discussions, but at this point you're like, but actually, why though? I thought that was just said to be polite. You know, I liked all that type of stuff. It was good.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, actually, it is weird that probably just because timing, the fact that it was never brought up before does kind of work because Emmelyn does seem like she wouldn't want to. Now, I don't mean to like describe your character for you, but the impression I've got so far is that she wouldn't want to like shit all over how the captain's dealing with her in front of the other people.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That was good. That was good. Anything else, Nico?
So I can think I'm probably forgetting stuff.
Same. I do this all the time.
Like, yeah.
What about you, Olka?
There was loads actually, but
I know it was kind of packed, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think everything everybody else has said, and also I feel I quite enjoyed Zora's just interactions with people, and just how he, especially with the weird old man.
Old man guns.
I like that part a lot.
I'm just leaving. It's been too stressful a day, man.
Yeah, just bye.
I can only take so many of Ryan's NPCs.
I quite enjoy that.
Really something.
Yeah, they are. No, it's good. I agree totally. Like, seeing you guys not do what is the easiest, most convenient, useful option as players by going, I will just buy the guns and leave. That's not as exciting as having someone be like, no, I actually just going to leave. Like, that's... I just wouldn't have had that kind of a day. It feels like these are actually these people, right? Like it's more believable, I think, that way. And I'm very much the GM that prefers you guys to do the choices your characters would make instead of the ones that make the game work more efficiently, right? Definitely.
For sure.
Anything else there, Ellen? Because I know that like it's kind of more difficult to go last because everybody kind of does say everything that you would be thinking.
Yeah. I quite liked signing with button name.
Yeah,
That was cool.
That was
so cool.
I liked that personally because I love what that gives me to work with as a GM.
Oh dear.
But I mean, it's not always bad, right? Why does everybody always cringe at that? I mean, shut up. And then
It's something I love but could never do with Nyx. So
it's great.
I
I
just
suggested it.
I just like how the session started with her dying, and it
And
ends
ended with her
her
living again in a sense.
Yeah,
Living again is your awful lie.
The paper trail goes on
yeah.
as she would have wanted.
Oh.
It's like it was useful, her death.
Yeah, I mean,
She was good for something, I suppose.
Yeah.
Served the purpose. Congratulations.
for like so plus there was that nice like I like the fact that both Lyko, you rolled high enough to get an interesting perception check with the smell, and you also rolled high enough, Olka, with the or should I say Emmelyn, with the perception check to it wasn't that much a check, but it was more of a you would have noticed Edgar's reaction to
Yeah,
Button
yeah.
as well. And I liked that these bits got to be noticed by people in the party as well, because it's nice to like seed in things that are like adding detail to people, and this like the situation and how odd things are, like being able to mess with Lyko with the presence near him and stuff. It's always fun to have after effects, shall we say. I was really tempted to say after image should be the title of the session, but I figured nah, it's fine. We'll save that for something later. But yeah, that was good. Good fun. I'm done. If you guys are done.
Done, Skeet.
Yep.
We done.
Excellent. Well, Nick, I hope you
done.
enjoyed it so far. Hashtag Calum is precious. Smash that like button. Please, I don't know, like spread the word, right? The word is spin.
Spread the message.
Like that smash button.
Spin.
Yes.
Hashtag spin.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye. Love you all.